Well, yes, we are talking about more Cyberpunk today. We've got some really, I guess you would say, fascinating news about this game, that it has appeared in a museum that I don't think Cyberpunk wants to be in. Plus, we're going to be talking about the recent job listings for Cyberpunk. There's something in there that a lot of people missed. It's absolutely fascinating, so we're going to be talking about that one. So let's dive in right now. Hey everyone, what's happening? Open World Games here. Hope you're doing good, and let's dive into everything Cyberpunk 2077. But yeah, I wanted to talk about something that I know a lot of us deal with every single day, and that is eye strain, headaches, and eye pain relating to sitting at these monitors every single day, whether you're at work, you're trying to get some gaming time in. The blue light just really negatively affects our eyes so much, and I've always personally been dealing with headaches, migraines, that sort of thing related to these computer monitors, and I think I found a really good, helpful answer to this problem, and that is blue light blocking glasses. And I recently got to partner with Gmg. They sent me a pair of these amazing blue light blocking glasses, and honestly, I am blown away at how much they help me out, and I can't recommend them enough. So if you're dealing with a lot of problems with headaches, migraines, you just feel fatigued with your eyes, that sort of thing, dry eye, what have you, these blue light blocking glasses by Gmg really do help. And I'm wearing the Optimizer model right now. They have a variety of models you can choose from, so if you want a certain style, you can actually go for that, so that's really cool. And in fact, they just released a brand new generation of blue light blocking glasses, and they have a Black Friday sale going on right now up until November 29th, 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. All the details are in the very first link in the description below. It's 50% off of the glasses right now through that link, and it's a limited time offer, so I highly recommend checking it out if you're dealing with these issues of eye strain, eye fatigue, headaches, that sort of thing. Check it out, it's totally worth it. This has definitely changed my experience big time with working with computer monitors and video games. I deal with this every single day, and I'm so grateful that I got to partner with Gmg and check these out. So again, check out the Black Friday deal going on right now. The very first link in the description below. Thanks, guys. All right, so back to the Cyberpunk news right now. Check this out right here. I kid you not, Cyberpunk has ended up in the Museum of Failure at the Mall of America here in Minnesota. As you can see right here, right by No Man's Sky, and guess what? Windows 8, I kid you not. Now, hold up, this could actually be a turnaround story, because as you notice right here, it's next to a game called No Man's Sky, and that game definitely has had a comeback. I don't know if it deserves to be in the Museum of Failure anymore, and it's going to be interesting to see if the same can be true and said about Cyberpunk in the future here. If Cyberpunk can somehow get out of the Museum of Failure, is it going to be possible? I guess we'll have to wait and find out. Let me know your take on that one. Do you think it's a bit harsh that it's in the Museum of Failure, or do you think it's right where it belongs? Now, we got to talk about this one right here. More recently, CD Projekt Red, they've been going on a hiring spree, and they had this job position right here, Open World Designer Junior Specialist. But there was something that was missed in this job listing, and it is the qualifications. It's so important to the future of what CD Projekt Red is building with Cyberpunk. Check it out right here. It goes on to say this: experience in modding games. They're looking for RPG and open world games preferred. This is a huge highlight for me personally, because as you guys know, they have been really making an effort with communicating with the modding community and even hiring modders. So it looks like they're continuing this trend of seeking out modders to actually hire and bring on their team. So this is really good news in my opinion. I hope they try to reach out to as many modders as possible, because let me tell you what, the modders for Cyberpunk right now are extremely passionate about this game. It is crazy. Honestly, honestly, if you're on console, I wish you could be exposed to these mods because they are absolutely incredible with what they are doing to improve Cyberpunk right now. They should just hire these guys to help out with the game overall and, you know, really get into it with the modders in that way. All right, so let's keep going because I want to talk about another game here that ties into this story a little bit, and of course that's Starfield. You guys may have seen my Starfield videos up on the channel, but yeah, you know, Todd Howard has some very interesting things to say about his modding community. It just seems like game developers are becoming more in touch with modders as time goes on. Check this out right here. It says, our plan is to have full mod support like our previous games. Our modding community has been with us for 20 years. We love what they do and hope to see more make a career out of it. And that's from Todd Howard of Bethesda, of course, and they're working on Starfield. I can't wait for that one. But yeah, a lot of these companies are really wanting modders to be a big part of their game, and for good reason. You know, we've already seen some big games with successful modding communities, Skyrim being one of them, Fallout franchise, but you know, GTA 5 has a huge modding community, and Cyberpunk already, and these are the people that keep the community alive in the long term. Why not get them involved in the actual game development process? That's what I think. I think they should continue on with this type of trend in the future for games. But I got a question for you all. Is Cyberpunk way too easy? Do you think later down the road when you're in the game and you've leveled up a lot, do you think it gets way too easy? That's the subject right here from, let's see who this is from, Eye of Center, who says, is this game really too easy? He goes on to say this, not sure who's still interested since it's old news now, but I'm wondering where people stand on this. Almost everyone I know says yes. One person, says no. I felt somewhere in the middle. I think most of the major boss fights are a joke, and the combat definitely needs an overhaul. I also think the game progressed the way it does by design and for good reason. From what I know, the Cyberpunk turntable RPG or tabletop RPG this game was based on isn't like The Witcher. A single person has the potential to do far more damage than two Witchers could do on their own. Cybernetics can make one individual a small army unto themselves. If you can max out your role ability and your combat skills while loading yourself up with cybernetics, you're supposed to be a walking, breathing, killing machine. Most street criminals, cops, and mercs that you come up against could never hope to try and compete with you. That's the whole reason Max Tech and the like were formed to begin with. I feel like that's the reason why the game starts off extremely difficult on very hard at least, and gets extremely easy at level 50. What does everyone else think about this? And you know, I think it's just the way the game was designed. They wanted you to feel like a powerhouse by the end of the game, but you know, honestly, that's not good for replayability, so it does cause issues. And one thing that I really do admire that Far Cry 6 did is they brought up you know, the enemy levels, as you progress, so that it didn't get too easy. Of course, you do want to feel a sense of progression, but I think that's more in terms of the different strategies you can come up with taking down enemies. If the game ends up being too easy and you are overpowered, that can be fun, but again, it gets boring. So I do think they do need to actually rework some of the systems with the difficulty for sure. Now, we need to talk about this next one because I know if you're like me, you were probably really disappointed with the police system in Cyberpunk 2077. And we've got an interesting discussion here about the Max Tech right here. Check it out. It says, introduction of Max Tech Police versus reality. If we scroll down here to the video, we see this really cool scene at the beginning of the game showcasing how Max Tech lands into the scene and just absolutely shreds enemies and annihilates this gang here. And it kind of puts the fear into the Max Tech. Now, this is the reality right here, how police officers just pop up. And this post comes from, let me see, Machiavelli now, I believe it is. But it does showcase here the problems with the police system. And honestly, I remember when I first saw the Max Tech unload from that carrier transport, I was so intimidated and excited to see what was coming up with the game. And then you see the comments in this Reddit post talking about how you rarely run into the Max Tech, and then of course, Max Tech, and then of course, you have a lot of people disappointed with the police system overall. So this is something they're going to definitely have to work on in the long term with the police system. I hope it honestly is a patch that comes up with the next gen version of the game. We'll see if that happens. But check this article out right here. It says CD Projekt Red just explain what you're planning for Cyberpunk 2077. This comes from, of course, Forbes. I wanted to read a little bit about this right here. We have my boy Paul Tessie, who says the following right here. He says, another week, another bizarre Cyberpunk story. This time, CD Projekt Red issued a third roadmap for the game reflecting the recent delay of the next-gen version to 2022, but also seemed to indicate no more patches or free DLC would go out by the end of 2021. I already covered this. Super disappointed by this, but this is representative of what is by far the worst level of communication I've seen between a developer and its fans in recent history. The article goes on to read, and I totally agree. I mean, they have absolutely dropped the ball. They did try that stream, and yeah, that didn't go well at all for them, and I think they were like, okay, we're gonna pull back and not communicate as much. But let's keep reading into this article more and more here. It goes on to say this, and yeah, after nearly a full year, here's all the information we don't have about the game and what we do know about what's coming, and only through data mining or leaks at best. CD Projekt Red has never spoken publicly about the content of future free DLC packs, nor their total number, nor the timing of when they will be released, other than the generalized time windows they keep missing on these nebulous road maps. And I think it's intentional because they can fail without having legal ramifications. That's my way of viewing it, but that's why they're not giving specifics. Then we have CD Projekt Red's not said what specifically is going to be improved in the next-gen version of the game. We also have to assume what they said a year and a half ago about the upgrade being free will stand, but who knows? Now, this is where it gets interesting. CD Projekt Red has not said anything about the coming power of major expansions for the game, their names, their content, their release windows. We don't even know if they're paid or free, and they have confirmed the existence of one, but that's about it. That's really interesting. I wouldn't mind to see the first big expansion to be free as like a thank you for sticking around with this game for so long after all of these problems. I really do think, again, they need to do something for free for fans. Now, continuing on here, it goes on to say that CD Projekt Red has not commented on its potential multiplayer plans for the game. They canceled a standalone multiplayer game, but data mining suggests that some sort of multiplayer component is coming this Cyberpunk down the road, though we don't know any details about it, and they haven't even confirmed its existence. And it sounds like, you know, my opinion, they were chasing after so many different things with Cyberpunk. They got overly excited, in my opinion. This is my take about an online GTA Online type Cyberpunk experience. So yeah, it's disappointing there that they were even considering that with this game. They should have just held off until like maybe Cyberpunk 2 or something like that. Or do what, you know, Sony has been doing, attaching good multiplayer modes to existing single player franchises. They've been actually pretty successful with that. All right. I think you know what time it is. It is time for your top comments. Let's do this. Remember, leave a comment down below. It could end up right here in a future video. So let's do this. My most recent Cyberpunk video is right here. It is called The Hate is Uncalled For, or is it? Plus the 10-hour Cyberpunk review. Someone actually did a 10-hour review, which is just insane. But we have right here, Carol Baskin says, in Witcher 3, one fun fact was nearly every single NPC had their own home, their own bed. When it got dark, you could follow any NPC to their home or to their tavern. They would drink, sleep, go to work the next day, and repeat. When it rained, they would seek shelter. When a fight broke out, one would run to fetch a guard. In Cyberpunk 2077, NPCs just disappear and reappear. That's the difference. That is why so many people were so hyped about Cyberpunk, and it's so shocking that the game didn't have these existing systems. And it makes me wonder, you know, it really makes me wonder if someone key to development of CD Projekt Red games did end up leaving during Cyberpunk's development. That's kind of what it tells me a little bit. I could be wrong, of course, but to see such a drastic difference from The Witcher 3 to Cyberpunk, something went missing for sure. It's kind of like when you see a director really nail down a movie and then their directing is completely different in another movie. You think, well, who was really directing this movie? That's kind of the same difference I'm trying to say there. All right, there it is, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for more Cyberpunk news and updates. I have you also covered on all things Starfield. I can't freaking wait for this game and to learn more about it. And again, of course, keep your expectations about these games super tame. Lower your expectations and you won't be disappointed. That's what I say, but I'm still curious to see what they're doing with Starfield. So please look out for those videos. Check them out if you haven't had the chance. And I will see you all next time. Take it easy.